I got the angelfish. That's not a small change, that's a bloody huge change. Hello everyone and welcome back to the sick version of Prestige Reef. A few people have asking me why I haven't progressed with the Waterbox. As you can see, it is still empty. And that is because I have COVID. Saying that doesn't quite have the same impact anymore because now 99% of people have had it. But I'm basically a recluse and I managed to hide from it all this time and it finally got me. I don't want to make other people sick and I need help putting up the lights. So, and I don't want to put the lights up until, see, I'm just coughing for dramatic effect. I don't want to do the Aquascape until the lights are up because obviously we're going to be drilling into the ceiling and the ceiling has paint on it and I don't want that falling into the Aquascape. There have actually been some small incremental changes which I will show you because while I'm just sitting here there's not a lot I can do, but I'll take you around and I will show you what I've been up to basically. I just realised after filming that last section that I said that there are some small incremental changes. I got the angelfish. That's not a small change, that's a bloody huge change. But for some reason I forgot about it. It's currently in the coral farm. I've decided that I'm probably going to get 2 angelfish. This wasn't the one that I was planning to get. I couldn't resist it when I saw it. So I still want an annularis, I think. I will probably get a juvenile annularis and let it grow into an adult. And then this is obviously the other angelfish. It's currently in the coral farm. So far so good, you know, it's I'll show you in a minute. It's only in with zoas and a few soft corals, but it's proven to me that this tank is not going to be completely empty, which is what some people have assumed, to some extent even me. So it shows I can do a little bit with it, but how far I can push that angel, I'm not sure. I'm learning already, aren't I? So exciting times. Right, so the first one of my COVID projects is to set up the brain of the system, which is the Prophylux from GHL. Now, those of you that follow the channel for a while will know that I have been running a Prophylux on the coral farm, 2 of them actually, for the last 3 years, and I have had literally no issues with them at all. There is a little bit of a learning curve when it comes to setting up, as providing you follow the videos on their YouTube channel, literally to the letter, you shouldn't have too much trouble. Now, although this won't surprise people, the thing that might surprise people is that for the first time, I think in 11 years, I am testing out a new light. So although I can tell you that I love the GHL Prophylux for control and testing, I don't know about, I can't give you an opinion on these because I haven't used them. What I can say is that I spoke to another social media person, I guess. Social, is that was I hate the word influencer, so that's why I never call other social media people influencers. But I spoke to Telegram, who is on Instagram and YouTube, and he had good things to say, and I trust him basically completely. There's no messing around, no marketing with him. He doesn't fall for anything, and he just gives you straightforward, honest answers. So when he said to me, yeah, they're good, I thought I'll give them a go. Now, those of you that follow me on Instagram and Facebook will be thinking, wait a second, I thought he posted on those about cleaning his old lights. And that is true, I did. And that was originally what I had planned to do. However, I've decided to upgrade the acro lights on the coral farm and use those in there instead. And in order to have complete transparency, so GHL obviously saw what I was doing, they liked the idea, and they offered to sponsor this, the build. Now, the reason I said yes to these is purely because, as I said, I already have a lot of experience with their products on the coral farm. I have 2 Prophyluxes, their dosing pumps, KH directors, so I know what I'm getting myself into. The only thing that I don't have experience with are these lights, and I haven't even plugged them in yet. So I can't sit here and say, honestly, these lights are fantastic, because they're not even plugged in. What I will say is that once the tank's set up, once the corals are in, once everything is hopefully looking good, providing the angelfish hasn't destroyed everything, I will give you an honest opinion. Right, so heading back to the tank, there's a couple of differences. Firstly, I've done this absolutely unbelievable minimalistic aquascape. Not really. This has just been placed in here. I've got buckets of it outside. I got this out for a picture for Instagram because a lot of people that are new to the hobby won't have ever even seen rock like this before. This is what everyone used to make their tanks out of. It's really light, and I've saved some of mine basically for, I think I've probably had it for 14 years now. And this extra came from one of my followers, who is an absolute legend, who packed it all up and put it into and had it couriered over to me. It's just so beautiful. Look, I've used man-made rock before. There's nothing quite like this. It's just a shame we can't get it anymore, because I don't think they collect it. But yeah, that's why I decided to go on this build and collect everyone's old rock. So if you've got this rock, don't sell it. I'd keep it just in case you go back into the hobby at some point. Right, so moving on down to the sump, there was one major difference since the last video, and that is that I have removed the filter sock compartment so that I can fit in the larger roller mat. I haven't installed it yet, but it fits perfectly now. And then, as you can see, I've got my reactor behind it and my protein skimmer there. So that's the only change for the sump so far. I have pretty much everything I need now, except for someone to help me put the lights up and the sand. The sand is the last thing I'm waiting for to turn up. But other than that, I've got everything. Right, now this is the bit that I know many of you will have been waiting for, and that is the new angelfish. So before I show you that, I'm just going to show you something quick, which is what I'm doing. In this pot is a mixture of mysis and, not sponsored, Easy Reef mastic. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because if you get any finicky fish, copper bands, or even this angelfish, it's just good practice to have all of them have it. Now, what I do is, if a copper band is eating mysis, I crush up mysis into mastic, and then the fish will eat the mysis and the mastic at the same time, and eventually they get used to it and they start eating mastic. I'm not sure what it is, but it seems to put weight on fish really quickly. If I've got a skinny copper band, it puts the weight on the copper band really, really fast. I think it's probably because obviously it can be left there for a period of time, rather than just putting a cube in and then it disappears. But it's just thought it was worth showing you. And basically what I'll do, I'll smear it on a rock now, and you'll see. I don't know if the angelfish will eat it yet. It hasn't eaten it so far, but we're about to find out. Right, so I just use 1 cube of mysis and one of the mastic cubes, and so it sort of keeps as a paste, and then you just smear it onto the rock. You'll notice I'm wearing gloves because it is gross. Right, so this is your first look at the angelfish for the new angelfish reef tank. As you can see, she isn't the average angelfish. She is a king eye angelfish. They're not that often seen in the hobby, and they're quite expensive. So far, she's not that interested in the food, but that might change. Every time she gets near and I put my camera up, she stops, she disappears. So I think I'm the one that's bothering her. Oh, there you go. There you go. See? You can see the cop band's going for it. Now, she hasn't been here that long, but so far she does appear to be relatively secretive, which is why I'm wondering if I'll have one angelfish which sort of hangs out in and around the rocks, and then I'll have another one, which would be the annularis, which spends more time out and about. But that's just a guess. Maybe once she's in a tank full of rocks and coral, because there's no rocks in this tank, she might be more out in the open. But so far she's doing really well. She's eating mysis. She's lots of mysis, and at the moment I feed her 2 or 3 times a day. And so far she hasn't touched any of the corals. I thought that she might have taken a bite out of something, but so far she hasn't taken a bite out of anything. I wasn't actually sure if I'd be able to keep her with soft corals. I had a feeling that, because there's zoas just behind this finger coral, and I assumed that they would disappear almost immediately, but she still hasn't touched them. So we might be in luck. It's not just the copper band and the angel that's going for it, some of the other fish are enjoying the mastic as well. So it does work. Sometimes they just have to, I think it's the texture they have to get used to. It's funny because if you saw my other copper bands, they're like ferocious when you give them this. There you go, look, so he already knows. He knows what's coming already. He's got, this one probably gets there quick because he's got to get there before the other fish. There you go. In this tank it doesn't last very long, that's the problem. So generally speaking, if you can get a copper band onto mysis and onto this, with regards to food, they're not that hard to keep anymore. This one occasionally even tries flake. Right, that's it for today, guys. The outro might sound a bit different to the rest of the video because I put my microphone down and I can't find it. But I didn't think you would care that much, so this will have to do. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. Please feel free to comment below if you have any questions. If you did enjoy it, why not click that like and subscribe button. Have a good week, and I'll see you next time.